Welcome back to the Tech Showcase.
Always great to be here.
This time we're doing a deep dive
A deep dive, yeah.
into industrial automation,
Absolutely.
but more specifically,
Yeah.
how it's impacting
Right.
cost savings and efficiency across different industries.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Yeah, we've got a whole stack of
Yeah,
articles and research here.
Right.
And I have to say, some of these stats about how much time and money businesses are saving are pretty amazing.
It's really impressive to see the impact.
Really is.
Yeah.
Plus, we're going to explore how worker safety is
Yeah.
being reshaped
Absolutely.
in this new landscape.
Yeah, because it's a dynamic field for sure.
It really is.
There's so much happening.
Yeah,
You know, from robotics to
right.
AI integration.
And AI
Yeah.
implications are massive.
I know. So before we get lost in the weeds,
Okay.
let's back up for a sec.
Uh-huh.
What exactly are we talking about when we say industrial automation?
For anyone who might be new to this.
Yeah, imagine a factory where, tasks that used to require multiple people
Yeah.
are now handled swiftly and precisely by robots.
Okay.
Or a complex supply chain where AI algorithms are crunching massive data sets to optimize logistics in real time.
Wow.
That's industrial automation in a nutshell.
Using
Technology
Didn't mean
to
to-
control and manage
Don't see anything.
industrial processes,
Right.
often with minimal human intervention.
Okay. That paints a pretty clear picture.
Yeah.
So it's not just about replacing
Exactly.
humans with
But
robots.
it's about integrating technology to enhance efficiency and productivity.
Across the board.
Across the board, yeah.
Okay. And one of the key drivers behind this whole
Yeah, one of the key drivers
information boom.
is the potential for cost reduction
Okay.
and significant cost reduction.
That's what really grabbed my attention
Yeah.
in these reports.
Yeah.
The numbers are pretty staggering.
The numbers are pretty amazing.
There's one study that highlights how some companies are achieving
Yeah.
20 to 30% reductions in production time
That's right.
thanks to automation.
Absolutely.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And then there's also
Well, then there's the impact on labor costs as well.
labor costs,
Yeah.
which is huge.
Think about it. If a single robot
Yeah.
can handle tasks that previously required 3 to 5 workers,
Right.
the labor cost savings alone can
Right.
be massive.
Okay, so that's
This is especially true in industries with high labor costs, like manufacturing.
okay. So we're talking manufacturing, especially.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not just labor.
And it's not just labor, right?
So we're seeing energy
They're
savings.
seeing energy savings because
They
machines
don't need to be heated or cooled.
Exactly. Machines don't need heating or air conditioning in the same way humans do.
The same way humans do.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
And with advancements in energy-efficient technology, these automated systems can be designed to minimize their environmental impact even further.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And then what about material waste?
Material waste.
It seems like
Yeah,
the sig-
applications a bit.
optimized tasks
Ooh.
and increased accuracy lead to less material waste.
The advantage
Yeah,
with automation.
which is particularly important in industries like manufacturing.
Yeah, because every little bit counts.
In fact, some manufacturers are reporting significant reductions in scrap rates
Wow.
and material consumption
So it's like a
after implementing automated systems.
trifecta
Yeah.
of cost savings,
Yeah.
labor,
And-
energy,
right.
materials,
Yeah.
and
All of this.
all of this while
Yeah.
often producing higher quality products.
Precisely, automation allows for greater consistency and precision,
Right.
which translates to higher quality products and fewer defects,
And fewer defects.
which in turn leads to reduced waste from faulty products
Okay.
and happier customers. Happier customers is always a good thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's like this chain
Yeah.
reaction
It's like a domino effect.
of positive outcomes.
Yeah.
But let's address the elephant in the room,
Okay.
worker safety.
Worker safety, right.
There's this perception that automation is replacing humans in dangerous jobs.
Uh-huh.
And while that's true,
It is true to an extent.
it's not the whole story.
It's not the whole story. No, not at all.
Right.
In many cases, automation is actually making workplaces safer
Okay.
by taking over tasks that are hazardous for humans.
Okay.
Think about jobs
Yeah.
that involve exposure to dangerous chemicals, extreme temperatures, or heavy machinery.
Yeah, those are all.
These tasks can now be handled by robots,
Big words.
reducing the risk of workplace injuries and fatalities.
So one of the studies we have here
Yeah.
mentions the potential for reducing workplace accidents
Uh-huh.
by up to 80%.
That's right.
That's pretty amazing.
It's a significant improvement in safety.
It is. Absolutely.
It's a game changer. And it's not just about removing humans from hazardous environments.
Right.
It's also about equipping them with better tools and protocols.
Okay.
We're seeing the rise of sophisticated safety systems
Uh-huh.
that use sensors, AI, and real-time monitoring to prevent accidents
Wow.
and respond quickly to emergencies.
So they're getting more and more advanced all the time.
Absolutely.
And there's even this concept of collaborative robots.
Collaborative robots.
Or cobots.
Cobots, right.
That work alongside humans.
That work alongside humans.
In a shared workspace.
In a shared workspace, that's right.
So they're designed with safety features to prevent collisions and injuries.
They're designed with safety in mind from the ground up.
A much more harmonious human-robot interaction.
That's right. Cobots are a perfect example of how automation can enhance both safety and productivity.
Okay, so they
can handle repetitive or physically demanding tasks, while humans focus on more complex or creative aspects of the job.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not about
replacing humans entirely, but rather about redefining roles.
Redefining roles.
And creating a safer, more efficient work environment.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
And talk about the specific ways that industrial automation is being implemented across different industries. And I guess the one that immediately comes to mind is manufacturing.
Manufacturing is definitely at the forefront of this automation revolution.
Okay.
Robots are already a common sight on factory floors performing tasks like welding, painting, assembly, packaging.
Yeah, there was a stat in a recent robotics report that said a single industrial robot can replace 3 to 5 workers.
That's right, on average.
On average.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Yeah, that's having a huge impact on production costs and efficiency.
It is.
Absolutely.
With
advances in AI and machine learning, these robots are becoming increasingly sophisticated. They can now handle more complex tasks, adapt to changing conditions, and even learn from their experiences, making them even more valuable assets in the manufacturing process.
Getting smarter all the time.
Absolutely they are.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It is.
And it's not just robots, though.
It's not just robots.
I'm also seeing a lot about how AI is being used to optimize supply chain management.
That's another area where automation is making huge strides.
Okay.
AI algorithms can analyze massive amounts of data from various sources, such as inventory levels, shipping schedules, and customer demand to predict potential bottlenecks.
So they can predict that.
And optimize delivery routes in real time.
In real time?
Yeah.
So we're talking about...
This leads to faster delivery times, reduced transportation costs, and improved overall efficiency.
Okay, and I was reading about a company that implemented an AI-powered supply chain system, and they managed to reduce their production times by 30%.
Wow.
And their inventory costs by 15%.
That's incredible.
Yeah, those are impressive numbers.
Those are impressive numbers.
So it's really...
It's transformative.
And this technology is constantly evolving with new advancements in AI and machine learning.
Right.
Paving the way for even smarter and more efficient supply chain management systems.
So it's clear that industrial automation is making waves.
It's making waves across various industries.
Across various industries, yeah. But what are the
key technologies driving this revolution?
Key technologies driving this revolution.
Yeah. We've talked about robots and AI.
We have, but
there's more to it.
There's more to it.
There's more to it.
Okay, so let's break that down.
Okay.
What is the role?
So what's the role of IoT in all of this?
Think
of IoT as the nervous system of the automated factory or supply chain.
Okay. It involves connecting machines, sensors, and devices to a network, allowing them to communicate and share data in real time.
Okay, so it's like having eyes and ears everywhere.
Exactly.
Constantly monitoring the whole process and alerting you to any anomalies.
Exactly. And with cloud computing, all this data can be stored, processed, and analyzed securely and efficiently. Cloud-based platforms provide the infrastructure for managing this complex ecosystem.
Yeah, because it is a complex ecosystem.
Allowing for remote access, scalability, and collaboration across different locations.
It started to sound like a sci-fi movie.
It does sound like a sci-fi movie, but it's all happening right now.
When it's all happening.
It's amazing to
Wonderful.
see how these different technologies are converging
It's incredible.
to drive this automation revolution.
Because it's really,
And it's only going to get more sophisticated
it's really fascinating
and interconnected as technology continues to advance.
to see all these different
We're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
technologies converging.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's dive a bit deeper
Okay.
into some of these core technologies,
Okay.
starting with robotics.
So when we talk about robots in the context of industrial automation, we're not just talking about those clunky, pre-programmed machines of the past.
Okay, so we're not talking about like the old school robots.
The modern robots are incredibly versatile and adaptable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was reading about a new generation of robots that are equipped with AI and machine learning capabilities
That's right.
so they can learn.
Yeah. They can learn from their experiences, adapt to changing conditions, and even collaborate with humans in a shared workspace.
Collaborate. That's
It's pretty amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
These robots are revolutionizing industries like manufacturing, logistics, and healthcare.
Wow, those are big ones.
They can perform tasks with incredible precision and speed.
Freeing up human workers to focus on more complex and creative tasks.
And there was one report that mentioned a factory that implemented a fleet of AI-powered robots.
Okay.
And they saw their productivity increase by 30%,
That's amazing.
while reducing their error rate by 80%.
Those are the kinds of results we're seeing across various industries.
That's huge.
And as AI technology continues to evolve,
Right.
we can expect even more sophisticated robots capable of performing even more complex tasks.
So it's not just about
So it's not just about automating repetitive manual tasks.
automating repetitive manual tasks.
It's about integrating AI into the very fabric of the industrial process.
It's like AI is the brains.
That's right. AI is becoming the brains behind the operation.
Behind the operation.
Making decisions, optimizing processes, and even predicting potential problems before they occur.
It's like this.
It's very powerful.
Superintelligence.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings us to our next.
That brings us to AI.
Core technology.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Or AI.
AI.
It's a term we hear everywhere.
Everywhere these days.
But what does it actually mean in the context of industrial automation?
Yeah. What does it actually mean?
So in industrial automation, AI is all about using algorithms and machine learning to enable machines to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as problem-solving, decision-making, and pattern recognition.
So
This allows for more efficient and adaptable systems
really taking over
that can learn and improve over time.
a lot of those
Absolutely.
human tasks.
Yeah.
I came across a figure in one of the articles
Okay.
that said that AI-powered systems can decrease production times by 20 to 30%
That's right.
and reduce failures
And reduce failure.
up to 70%.
Up to 70%. Those are
Sure.
those are some serious gains in efficiency and reliability.
Pretty serious gains.
Yeah.
And it's not just about speed and efficiency.
And it's not just about speed and efficiency.
AI is also being used to enhance safety and prevent accidents.
Absolutely. For example, AI algorithms can analyze data from sensors and cameras to identify potential hazards and alert operators in real time.
Wow. So it's like this.
Yeah, it's like having a super intelligent safety inspector constantly monitoring the entire operation.
Super intelligent safety inspector.
That's right.
Constantly monitoring.
Constantly monitoring and looking for potential problems.
That's pretty reassuring.
It is.
Okay, so we've covered robots.
We've covered robots.
And AI.
And AI.
But there's another piece.
But there's another piece of the puzzle here.
Of the puzzle here.
IoT.
IoT.
Or the Internet of Things.
Okay, so how does that fit into...
So how does that fit into this whole automation landscape?
This whole automation landscape.
Think of IoT as the connective tissue that binds everything together in an automated system.
Okay, so it's like this.
It's about connecting machines, sensors, and devices to a network, allowing them to communicate and share data in real time.
Giant interconnected web of machines.
Exactly.
They can talk to each other.
Yeah, it's like creating a giant interconnected web of machines that can talk to each other and share information.
That's a pretty cool...
It is. This real-time data flow enables better monitoring maintenance and overall performance optimization.
Okay, so give me an example.
For example, sensors on a piece of equipment can detect early signs of wear and tear, triggering an alert for maintenance before a major breakdown occurs.
That's pretty valuable.
So it's like a preventative maintenance system.
I was reading about a factory that implemented an IoT-enabled system,
Okay.
and they were able to reduce their downtime by 70%.
That's a huge cost saving
That is a huge cost saving.
and a major boost to productivity.
Yeah, so it's really optimizing everything.
And with cloud-based systems, businesses can access and manage this data from anywhere.
Anywhere.
Making it easier to monitor operations, identify trends, and make data-driven decisions.
So it's a highly
So we're talking about a highly connected and intelligent industrial ecosystem.
connected, intelligent.
Powered by robots, AI, IoT, and the cloud.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is pretty mind-blowing to think about the possibilities.
When you think about
It really is.
all of it working together,
Yeah, and it's all happening now.
all happening now.
Transforming industries and reshaping the way we work.
It's amazing.
It is. But it's not all sunshine and roses, right?
I imagine there are challenges.
There are definitely challenges.
Implementing
One of the biggest hurdles is dealing with legacy IT systems.
such complex systems.
Yeah.
Okay, so legacy IT systems.
Many businesses still rely on older infrastructure.
Right.
That's not compatible with these new technologies.
Yeah, it's all trying to fit
It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
a square peg
Okay.
in a round hole.
Yeah.
So upgrading these
Upgrading these systems is crucial
systems is crucial
for successful automation integration.
for successful integration.
It's an investment,
Yeah.
but one that can pay off significantly in the long run.
Okay, so legacy systems are one hurdle.
So legacy systems are one hurdle.
What else?
Another major challenge is the workforce skills gap.
Okay, the workforce skills gap.
As automation technologies become more sophisticated, there's a growing demand for skilled workers
Right.
who can operate, maintain, and troubleshoot these systems.
Right, because someone has to
Finding qualified personnel can be a real challenge.
manage all this stuff.
It
What is
is.
it?
So it's not just about buying new machines.
About buying a new machine.
It's about having the right people
And then
to manage and maintain them.
you're leaving it alone.
Exactly. Companies need to invest in training and upskilling their workforce
Right.
to bridge the skills gap.
So training
This
is
involves not only technical training,
hugely important.
but also developing soft skills like problem solving, critical thinking, and adaptability,
Okay.
which are essential for working in a rapidly evolving technological environment.
So it's like this whole
right.
multifaceted challenge,
It's a multifaceted challenge, but a crucial one to address.
but it's crucial.
If businesses want to reap the full benefits of automation,
Okay, and it's not just
and it's not just about the technical aspect,
the technical aspect.
it's also about managing the human side of automation.
Right.
Ensuring that workers feel supported and empowered in this new landscape.
That's
That's
important.
a really good point.
To remember the human element.
Yeah, because we've talked about how automation can
Yeah.
enhance safety and efficiency.
Absolutely.
But it's crucial to ensure that the
Yeah.
human element
Yeah, we don't want to lose the human element in the process.
isn't lost in the process.
Exactly. It's about finding a balance between technological advancement and human well-being.
That's a lot.
Automation should ultimately serve to enhance our lives, not replace us. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Now we've covered a lot of ground. We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive into industrial automation.
And in this first part, we've explored the key technologies, discussed the benefits and challenges, and even touched upon the human element.
Yeah,
It's a complex topic.
it is a complex topic.
But it's clear that industrial automation is a powerful force reshaping industries in our world.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
It is, and we've got much more to explore.
And complex.
So,
We have a lot more to explore.
absolutely.
No.
Join us for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll delve into the future of industrial automation
Okay.
and its potential impact on our lives.
Okay, so stay tuned for
Yeah.
part 2
All right, so good.
of our deep dive
Looking forward to it.
into industrial automation.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back
All right. Welcome back,
to the Tech Showcase.
where we're knee-deep in the fascinating world of industrial automation.
Yeah, and we've laid all that groundwork.
We have.
We're shifting focus now to
Yeah, shifting focus to the future.
the future.
All this means for the future.
Because we've seen how it's changing things now,
We have.
but the
Yeah.
research points to it.
Yeah, the trends we're seeing suggest a future where automation plays an even greater role in our lives.
Even bigger shifts ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, with implications for jobs. The economy is society as a whole.
It's true.
So let's start unpacking this.
Okay, let's unpack it.
One of the big questions that keeps coming up
Yeah.
is the impact on jobs.
Impact on jobs.
Some people are worried.
Yeah.
that automations can lead to widespread job losses.
That's a valid concern,
Yeah.
and one that's fueled by headlines about robots replacing humans.
Yeah.
But the reality is more nuanced.
Ugh.
While automation will undoubtedly change the nature of work, it's not necessarily about robots taking over all the jobs.
Right. And one of the reports we have here
Yeah.
suggests that while some traditional roles,
Right.
particularly those involving repetitive manual tasks,
Uh-huh.
may decline,
Yeah.
automation will also create new opportunities in areas like robotics maintenance data analysis,
Think about it.
automation engineering.
Someone needs to design, build, program, and maintain these complex automated systems.
Right.
That requires a skilled workforce.
It does.
Absolutely.
So it's not about eliminating jobs,
Eliminating jobs.
but rather about shifting the demand towards different skill sets.
Different skill sets.
Precisely. The key takeaway here is that adaptability and continuous learning will become more important than ever in the face of automation.
In the face of automation, so workers need to be...
Workers need to be prepared to upskill and reskill throughout their careers to stay relevant.
prepared to upskill and reskill
Yeah.
to stay relevant.
In this evolving job market.
Yeah, that's
And this requires a collaborative effort from governments, businesses, and educational institutions.
It is. It's a big societal shift.
It is.
But one that we need to embrace to make sure everyone benefits.
Yeah, to provide the necessary training and support.
Yeah, to ensure everyone benefits from these. Absolutely. It's a challenge, but also an opportunity
Technological advancements.
to create a more equitable and fulfilling work environment for everyone.
Okay, now beyond the job market,
So beyond the job market,
there are also economic implications to consider.
there are economic implications.
Yeah, and some experts argue that automation could lead to significant productivity gains
Significant productivity gains.
and economic growth.
Yeah, that's a key argument in favor of automation.
Right.
The idea that by streamlining processes and increasing efficiency, we can produce more goods and services with fewer resources, leading to overall economic prosperity.
And there's historical precedent for this, right?
There is.
Like previous technological revolution.
Like the Industrial Revolution.
Like the Industrial Revolution led to significant economic growth.
That's right. History shows that while technological advancements can cause short-term disruptions,
Even though there were disruptions along the way.
they often lead to long-term economic benefits.
Right.
The challenge is to manage those disruptions and ensure that the benefits are shared broadly.
Okay, because that's where things get a little
That's where things get tricky.
tricky.
Right.
Okay.
Because there's also concern that automation could exacerbate existing inequalities,
There's also the concern that it could
leading to a wider gap between the rich and the poor.
widen the gap between the rich and the poor.
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
If the benefits of automation, such as increased productivity and profits, are not distributed equitably,
Right.
there's a risk that income inequality could widen.
So it's not just about creating more wealth.
It's not just about creating more wealth.
It's about making sure that wealth is shared fairly.
It's about ensuring that that wealth is shared fairly among all members of society.
Yeah. Among all members of society.
And this requires thoughtful policies and regulations that promote fair wages, access to education and training,
So there are a lot of
and social safety nets for those who may be displaced by automation.
things to consider.
It's a complex issue,
It is.
but an important one.
It is a complex balancing act,
It is.
but one that's crucial to get right if we want to create a future
It's crucial to get right
where everyone benefits.
if we want to create a future where everyone benefits from these technological advancements.
Now, let's shift gears a bit
Okay, let's shift gears.
and talk about another aspect that's often raised in discussions about automation.
All right.
Its potential impact on the environment.
The environment.
Yeah, because automation can have both positive and negative effects
That's an important consideration. Automation can have both positive and negative effects on the environment,
on the environment.
depending on how it's implemented and managed.
Okay, so let's break that down.
Okay.
What are some of the potential environmental benefits
So what are some of the potential environmental benefits?
of automation?
One of the key benefits is the potential for increased efficiency in resource utilization.
Uh-huh.
Automated systems can optimize energy consumption, reduce waste, and minimize the environmental impact of industrial processes.
So, for example, an automated factory could use
Right.
sensors and AI to monitor and adjust energy usage
Exactly.
real time,
In real time, minimizing waste, reducing its carbon footprint.
minimizing waste and reducing its carbon footprint.
And automation can also be used to optimize transportation and logistics,
That's huge.
reducing fuel consumption and emissions from shipping and delivery.
Okay.
So it has a lot of potential benefits.
There's also the potential for automation to be used in environmental monitoring and conservation efforts.
Right? There is.
I was reading about how
That's right.
drones equipped with sensors
Yeah.
are being used to track deforestation
Uh-huh.
and monitor wildlife populations.
That's a great example. Automation can play a valuable role in collecting data and monitoring environmental conditions,
It's pretty amazing.
helping us to better understand and protect our planet.
Yeah, those are some encouraging examples.
They are encouraging.
But what about the potential downsides?
But what about the potential downsides?
Aren't there concerns that automation could lead to?
Increased consumption and production,
That's a valid concern if automation makes it cheaper and easier to produce goods.
putting a strain on natural resources.
There's a risk that we'll consume more,
Yeah. So, right?
leading to greater resource depletion and environmental damage.
A double-edged sword.
It is.
We need to be mindful of.
It's a double-edged sword. We need to be mindful of the potential for automation to accelerate consumption
The potential for automation to accelerate consumption.
and find ways to mitigate those negative impacts.
And find ways to mitigate those negative impacts. And it's not just about
And it's not just about the volume of consumption.
the volume of consumption.
It's also about the life cycle of the products we produce.
Yeah.
We need to ensure that automated systems are designed with sustainability in mind,
Okay.
using eco-friendly materials and minimizing waste throughout the production process.
So it sounds like a
It does.
holistic approach is needed.
It sounds like a holistic approach is needed considering the environmental impact of automation from design to disposal. From design to disposal.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing that technological advancements alone are not enough.
Right.
To address environmental challenges, we need to adopt a more sustainable mindset
Oh.
and find ways to integrate environmental considerations into our economic and technological systems.
Okay, so now,
So,
shifting gears one last time.
shifting gears one last time.
Let's talk about the ethical implications of automation.
Ethical implications.
Yeah, because this is an area that often
This is an area that often sparks heated debates.
sparks a lot of debate.
It's true. As automation becomes more sophisticated and pervasive,
Yeah,
it raises a host of ethical questions that we need to grapple with.
that we need to grapple with.
Absolutely.
Okay, and one of the big ones
One of the big ones is the potential for bias in AI systems.
is bias in AI systems.
If these systems are trained on biased data, they can perpetuate and even amplify existing inequalities.
Right, and we need to,
That's a major concern.
I'm sure that,
We need to ensure that the data used to train AI systems is diverse and representative of the population as a whole.
the data is diverse and representative.
Otherwise, we risk creating systems that discriminate against certain groups.
Yeah, I was reading about a study
Mm-hmm.
that found that some facial recognition algorithms
Yeah,
were less accurate at identifying people of color.
that's right. That's a perfect example of how bias can creep into AI systems.
Which highlights?
We need to be vigilant about identifying and addressing these biases to ensure that automation is fair and equitable for everyone.
The potential for bias in these systems.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's not just about data bias.
And it's not just about data bias.
There are also concerns about
There are also concerns about transparency and accountability in AI decision-making.
transparency and accountability in AI decision-making.
If these systems are making important decisions that affect people's lives,
Right.
we need to understand how they're arriving at those decisions.
To be able to
Transparency is crucial for building trust in AI systems.
understand how they're making these decisions.
We need to be able to understand how these systems work, how they make decisions, and what data they're using.
Yeah, and there needs to be accountability.
And there needs to be accountability.
Right, like
Absolutely.
if an AI system makes a mistake,
If an AI system makes a mistake, who is responsible?
who's responsible?
That's a complex question. As AI systems become more autonomous,
Right.
it becomes increasingly difficult to determine accountability. We need to develop clear ethical frameworks and legal guidelines
Yeah, it sounds like
to address these challenges.
we're entering uncharted territory here,
It's true, the future of automation is full of promise,
and we need to be really careful.
but it also presents us with profound ethical challenges that we need to address responsibly and thoughtfully.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground
We have.
in this second part
In this second part of our deep dive,
of our deep dive.
exploring the potential impact of automation on jobs, the economy, the environment,
Exploring all the different impacts.
and even our ethical values. It's a complex
It's a complex and multifaceted topic,
and multifaceted topic.
and one that requires ongoing discussion and collaboration
Yeah.
to ensure that we harness the power of automation for good.
So we've still got a lot more to unpack.
You bet.
Do join us for the final part of our deep dive,
Join us for the final part.
where we'll explore some potential solutions.
Yeah, we'll explore some potential solutions and strategies for navigating this exciting but challenging future.
Okay, so stay tuned.
All right, sounds good.
Welcome back to the Tech Showcase for the final part of our deep dive.
Into industrial automation.
Into industrial automation, we've explored the possibilities,
We have.
the challenges, even
Right.
some potential downsides.
Even some potential downsides. Now comes the exciting part. What can we do about all this?
Right, because it's not enough to just talk about the future.
Right.
We need to
We need to figure out how to navigate it, especially when it comes to such a transformative force like automation.
figure out how to navigate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good news is, especially when it comes to automation.
There are a lot of smart people thinking about these issues and coming up with solutions.
Okay, so where do we even begin?
So where do we begin?
Let's go back to the job market.
Okay, the job market.
We've talked about how automation will displace some jobs while creating new ones.
We have.
What can we do
So what can we do to prepare the workforce for this shift?
to prepare the workforce for this shift?
One of the most crucial steps is investing heavily in education and training programs,
Okay.
geared towards the skills needed in an automated world.
So investing in education and training programs.
And we're not just talking about technical skills here.
One report highlighted
Right.
the need for soft skills like
That's skills.
critical thinking, problem-solving, adaptability
Yeah.
as being
As being even more important in the age of automation.
even more important
It's like the machines can handle the routine stuff,
in the age of automation.
leaving humans to focus on the complex strategic thinking.
Right. So it's really
Exactly, and this requires a shift in how we approach education and training.
upskilling those.
It's not just about acquiring a specific skill set for a specific job,
Human skills.
but about developing a lifelong learning mindset, constantly upskilling and adapting to new technologies and demands.
And there was this concept of micro-credentials
Micro-credentials, yeah.
that came up in one of the articles.
I like that idea.
And it's like, instead of getting a traditional 4-year degree,
Yeah,
you can earn smaller, more focused certifications
right.
in specific areas as technology evolves.
It makes learning more accessible and adaptable to the rapid pace of technological change.
So that way workers can stay ahead of the curve
Absolutely.
without needing to go back to school for years at a time.
And it's not just the responsibility of individuals to keep learning.
Right.
Businesses and governments have a role to play too.
So what can they do?
Governments could incentivize companies to invest in employee training programs,
Okay.
maybe through tax breaks or subsidies. And companies themselves should be proactive in offering on-the-job training and professional development opportunities to help their workforce adapt.
So it's like
It's a win-win situation.
a collaborative
Investing in employee training not only benefits the individual worker, but also helps businesses stay competitive and innovative in the long run.
approach.
Absolutely.
Now, what about the economic side of things?
The economic side of things.
Oh, we talked about how automation could lead to greater productivity and economic growth,
We did.
but also about the potential
But
of
also the potential for widening income inequality.
widening income inequality. How do we address that?
This is where policy comes in.
Yeah.
We need to have serious discussions about potential solutions like a universal basic income,
Okay, universal basic income.
which would provide everyone with a guaranteed minimum level of income regardless of whether they have a job.
Okay, so that's a pretty
That's a pretty radical idea,
radical idea.
but one that's gaining traction as automation becomes more widespread.
Yeah, the thinking is that
The thinking is that if machines are taking over more jobs, we need to find new ways to ensure that everyone has access to basic economic security.
if machines are taking over
Right.
more of the jobs.
Exactly. And there are other ideas on the table too,
Okay.
like shorter work weeks or job sharing arrangements,
Okay.
which could help to distribute the available work more equitably.
Okay, so that's a
Potential solution.
We even talked about the concept of robot taxes.
We talked about robot tax.
Levying taxes on companies that heavily automate their operations,
Right.
with the revenue used to fund social safety net programs or retraining initiatives.
Okay.
So those
Yeah,
are
yeah.
all potential options worth exploring.
A lot of different options.
The key is to start having these conversations now before automation reaches a point where it creates massive economic disruptions.
Okay, so let's move on to
Right.
data privacy and security. Data privacy and security. Okay.
With automation comes a deluge of data,
Yeah, with automation comes a lot of data.
which raises concerns about misuse breaches,
So,
erosion of individual privacy.
Right. So what can we do to safeguard against these risks?
So what can we do?
Strong data protection regulations are essential.
Okay.
We need clear guidelines on how data can be collected, stored, and used, especially when it comes to sensitive personal information.
Okay, so strong data protection regulations.
One of the reports mentioned the concept of data minimization,
And there was this concept of data minimization.
which basically means only collecting the data that's absolutely necessary for a specific purpose
Right.
and then deleting it once it's no longer needed.
Don't hoard data
Don't hoard data just because you can.
just because you can.
It's about being responsible and respectful with the data we collect.
Right.
And individuals should have more control over their own data,
Okay.
with the right to access, correct, or even delete their data held by companies.
Okay.
There's also the need for greater transparency from companies about how they're using our data.
There needs to be more transparency.
People need to understand what's being collected, how it's being used, and who has access to it.
From the companies.
Transparency builds trust, and that's crucial in this era of big data and automation.
And of course,
Alongside regulations and transparency, we need robust cybersecurity measures to protect against data breaches and hacking attempts.
we need robust cybersecurity.
Because as these systems become more interconnected, they become more attractive targets for cybercriminals.
Yeah, because as they become more interconnected,
It's a constant cat and mouse game, and we need to stay ahead of the curve.
they become a bigger target.
Absolutely. Investing in cybersecurity should be a top priority for any business or organization implementing automation technologies.
Okay, now let's tackle the issue of bias in AI.
Bias in AI, okay.
We've seen how these systems can perpetuate and amplify existing inequalities
We have.
if they're not carefully
If they're not carefully designed and monitored.
designed and monitored.
Right. How do we ensure that AI is used fairly and ethically?
So how do we do that?
One of the key steps is to ensure that the data used to train AI systems is diverse and representative of the population as a whole.
Okay, so diverse and representative data.
If we're building systems that make decisions about hiring loan applications or even criminal justice, we need to make sure those systems aren't replicating existing societal biases.
Yeah, and there's this term that keeps popping
What
up,
is
algorithmic accountability.
algorithmic accountability? That's an important concept.
Yeah, it's about
We can't just blindly trust these systems. We need ways to audit them.
making sure that there are clear mechanisms for holding AI systems accountable.
To understand their decision-making processes and to correct for biases when they arise.
For their decisions.
And it's not just about the technical aspects.
Right.
We also need to raise awareness about the potential for AI bias.
Right.
Educate the public about how these systems work and encourage critical thinking about the ethical implications.
So it's really about
Education is key. The more people understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to use it responsibly and ethically.
everyone. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's shift gears one last time
One last time.
and talk about the potential impact of automation
Okay.
on human connection.
Human connection, all right.
Because some people worry that as machines take over, more tasks will become increasingly isolated
Right.
and lose those essential human interactions.
It all comes down to being intentional about how we use technology.
Oh,
We need to recognize that technology is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
and one of the reports framed it really well.
Okay, how do they frame it?
It said technology should enhance our lives, not dominate them.
I like that.
It's about finding that balance.
Exactly. Instead of letting technology dictate our interactions, we need to make conscious choices about how we use it.
Right.
That might mean setting aside dedicated time for face-to-face conversations, engaging in community activities, or simply putting down our devices and being present in the moment.
Yeah, and it's really about remembering
Yeah.
the importance of human connection.
Remembering the importance of human connection,
Empathy, creativity,
of empathy, of creativity,
all those things that make us uniquely human.
all those things that make us uniquely human,
And that no machine
and that no machine can truly replicate.
can truly replicate.
And it's about ensuring that our education systems and our workplaces value and cultivate those human qualities.
So it's not just about adapting to the technological changes brought about by automation,
It's not just about adapting.
but also about preserving and nurturing those aspects of our humanity
Absolutely.
that make life worth living.
Well said. It's a challenge, but one that I believe we're capable of meeting. The future of automation is ultimately up to us.
It is.
It's about making choices that align with our values and our vision for a better world.
Okay, well, on that note, I think we've reached the end
I think we have.
of our deep dive into industrial automation.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
It's been quite a journey.
It has.
From exploring the nuts and bolts
From exploring the nuts and bolts
of these technologies
to grappling with the ethical and societal implications.
and grappling with all the implications.
And I hope our listeners have gained some valuable insights into this rapidly evolving field.
Yeah, we've only scratched the surface.
We have, but hopefully, we've sparked some curiosity and some critical thinking about the future of automation.
We've sparked some curiosity.
Remember, this is a conversation that needs to continue, and we all have a role to play in shaping that future.
And some critical thinking about the future.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.